My name is Era, and I'm the host of the Tamil Creator Podcast. I chat with creators from all over the world to share their stories and discuss hot topics in a way that I hope inspires, educates, and entertains you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tamil Creator. I'm your host, Era, and today I have a very special guest all the way from New York City. He is the famous chef Vijay Kumar, and he's a chef partner at Semma, which is the only Michelin Star Indian restaurant in New York City. It's one of the hottest food spots in the city for the last couple of years. I heard about Chef Vijay Kumar and like Semma just because there was an article written about, I think it was about reservations and how hard it was getting reservations, and it caught my eye. I dug further and, I had to talk to Chef Vijay himself. So thank you so much, Chef Vijay, for coming on today.
Yara, thank you so much. Hello, Vanakkam. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. I'm so excited.
Just to let everyone know, Chef Vijay was nervous, but he is, if you've seen his
Well,
other
I'm
videos, he's a fantastic interviewee. So I think you're going to enjoy this episode learning about Chef Vijay's story. First things first, maybe tell everyone about kind of your childhood and your formative teenage years. What was that like, and like how did that get you, into the restaurant industry?
well. I was born. I was born and raised in it's a small town close to Madurai in Tamil Nadu. From such a humble and farmers family where I was born and raised there. I did my schooling. I went to college in Trichy and I worked in hotels in Chennai. Here I am in US for last 15 plus years. Yeah, just like rest of the Indian kids, I just want to be an engineer, like a doctor. I also want to be one of those kids who want to be an engineer or a doctor. Unfortunately, I had an opportunity to go to engineering school. I did pass, all the test, and I got a decent score for the good engineering school. But due to some financial, it was the fee was so higher than what we could. What my parents could afford to pay. So we couldn't do that. Obviously, I had cooking was my passion too. So that was my another option. Like, what, let me be a chef. That I also have a passion to be a chef. So become a chef. I'm still trying to be a chef. So
well, even though one door closed on you being an engineer, another
right.
door opened for you, and you're now, whether you like it or not, you're a famous, well-known chef. So I guess the other door that opened turned out to be pretty good, right?
Well, I think it's probably meant to be. I don't know if you can, if I can say I'm a famous or whatever it is. I'm a chef. I'm just, I'm just trying to do whatever best I could do. So.
So given the demanding nurture, like, so my parents, my father had a Tamil restaurant in Toronto as well, a very long time ago.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
so
What was
I
the
grew up,
name?
it was Rico, it was called Rico Restaurant. It's closed down now. It was sold
Oh no.
a long time ago. But so I grew up in kind of working at my dad's restaurant,
So it
and
was a Tamil restaurant.
it was a Tamil Sri Lankan restaurant. Yes, yeah.
Oh, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, yeah.
And I saw how demanding it was. Like, I worked there, but my parents, I saw like, what time they finished, what time they opened. It's very
Yeah,
demanding, right?
it's 100% so demanding. Obviously, even though, when you enjoy something that you really love doing it, so it doesn't really matter. It is demanding, it is challenging, it is, there's a lot of sacrifice. There's no holidays, there's no special holidays. You don't really get to spend too much time with your family. Yes, all those challenges are there. Like, what industry that does not have challenge? Every industry, right? Like, yeah, if you love what you do, and if you when you have a passion, so all those things, like, it all will disappear. So it doesn't really matter to you. So when you really love something that you do, that you know that's all matters.
Well, I guess you kind of answered my question, because I was going to ask, because it's a very demanding industry, people often leave, after a couple of years, or they try to do something else.
Oh, you're gonna ask a question?
Oh no.
I read your mind.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
what made you stick with it so long? But you kind of answered it, that you loved it so much. But did you always love,
Yeah.
like, I know people always say, at the end of the journey, or not the end of the journey, but when you've kind of been further along in the journey, that, you stuck with it because you loved it. But did you love it right from the beginning, or was there some challenges at the beginning?
At the beginning, it was a little challenging for sure. I felt like, oh, I should have stuck with engineer. Like, why did I choose this career? Because, it was not really welcoming in India. Like, I couldn't really proudly, openly say a lot of people that I was going to culinary school. I didn't even tell a lot of my schoolmates and like that, hey, I chose to be a chef. I went to culinary schools because you know how they all make fun of you. Oh, this is a woman job, like only women cook. I mean, only women cook, and it's not everyone was really excited or happy that appreciated that I was going to go to culinary school, and it was those times like 30 years ago. It was completely different, like and in the time when I went to culinary school, it was not really people were not really aware of what's been happening in the hospitality industry. Like they don't know exactly. They're just like, oh, there's some random cooking school, you're just going to cook. It's just like it was something was not really welcoming. So yeah.
And like, so I know when you first came to the US, you were living on the West Coast, so obviously better weather. And you were a chef eventually at Rasa, which, is also a Michelin star restaurant. So you're two for two.
Mhm.
So what made you decide to leave what you had going on there for New York City?
There are couple of reasons. One, the main reason was like even though we were cooking contemporary South Indian food, like right, we were cooking like we were obviously we were sticking with the roots, and we were cooking very contemporary. Like another way, other words I can say that we were pretty much trying to fit into somebody else's mold. We were trying to please the Western audience. Even though we are trying to be a South Indian, but there was also a little bit of gap. There's a little bit of there was no 100% satisfaction. Like I was like, there was always like, when are we going to cook our real food, something that we grew up eating it, instead of trying to be someone else, instead of trying to fit into somebody else's mold, instead of trying to be kind of please the audience. So then that was one thing. It was my head for a long time. I hope one day we eventually will try to cook our own food that that we all grew up eating back home. And number two, thanks to COVID, in a way, it made it happen because things were not quite right in West Coast after COVID. So and then we just happened to Ronnie and Chintan were like, they were good industry friends. We just happened to like, I think they were already phenomenally representing regional Southern Indian cuisine in New York, even before I moved to New York. And then I just happened to like, we were just common industry friends. We known each other for like, like as industry friends, we just know each other for a while. And then I happened to congratulate them for their all their clothes that they were getting it before, before Semma time. So and then we just happened like casually we just happened to talk, hey, what's happening, like what's happening in your life, like. And then I was just like, hey, then we this conversation happened so organically. It was like, oh, one day we should probably do something like South Indian, there's that. And then actually I really like these guys. I love the energies. We had so much of so much things in common. The vibe, you can feel someone's vibe as soon as when you talk to someone. So we connected so well that casual conversation becomes so like very serious. So we just happened to talk, and then the rest everything happened, and then Sema was born.
Oh, that's amazing. I was gonna ask, yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
yeah, because so Chef Chintan and Ronnie, they're of unapologetic brands, and they kind of, I think what I read was they really encouraged you because you had this thought in your mind of, hey, I'm doing
Mhm.
well at Rasa, like you were a Michelin star, but you
Mhm.
always wanted to kind of really represent true, authentic South Indian cuisine. And I think
Right.
that's kind of what really caught your eye about the opportunity to create Sama, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it's a definitely it's them. Without them, I don't think it's I'm here. And also, I do have to say I have my very good friend. We grew up together. His name is Chef Suresh. He's so we went to college together. We kind of grew up together. We known each other for 25 plus years too. And yeah, I mean, he actually literally took a road trip from West Coast to East Coast. He drove with me, so we opened this place together. So I think huge thanks to him also for putting up with me, for being the part of my journey, for everything that he has done so far for me.
That's amazing. And how did you
Yeah.
come up with the name Sama? Like, where did that come from?
Oh, that was definitely Chintan. Like, even though he's from Gujarat and he speaks Gujarati, and then it was me and Suresh, like, we're trying to scratch your head because we both Tamil speaking, right? We grew up in Tamil Nadu, so we were So they're like, oh, you guys come up with some name, something comes cool Tamil name. Like, I was like, oh, we were trying to go with a lot of names, including at some point we were trying to let's call it Lungi Boys. We're just trying to make fun of all those kind of funny names, right? And then at some point, I mean, Chintan loves South Indian movies. He watches a lot of movies on Netflix, and so he was like, Chin, what do you think? What do you guys think about Semma? And then he was like, "Wow, that sounds like such a cool name. We should definitely name it." So that was, I think, there was always the name credit goes to Chef Chintan, and then even the other cocktails name. Even he named there was one cocktail called the Silk Smita when you opened it. So all the cocktail name is it's all by Chintan.
Oh, amazing. He
Yeah,
sounds like a
yeah,
very creative individual. Uh,
yeah.
so you guys started the restaurant. So how long, I'm just trying to paint a picture for the audience. So like, how long did it take from going from that conversation to actually having a restaurant ready to open? Because I know that's a process, right? Building out the restaurant, getting the staff. Like, how long did that all take you?
So I mean, I mean there was a before Semma, there was a restaurant called Rahi, which Chintan was running it, and then when we decided to like when I decided to move from West Coast to East Coast, and then Chintan was, you can just take over this place, and then you can turn it to Semma, and then I mean the restaurant was already there, even though we did a little bit of like redecor. By the way, the inspiration, the restaurant looked just like the houseboat in Kerala.
Uh,
So I just saw the kind of it kind of looked like a boat. Can you just make it like look like a houseboat? And they were like they're like, yes, let's do this. There was no hesitation for 1 minute. Anything that we asked for, it was like do it, do it, do it. There was no it's like, oh, let's do, how a lot of like ownerships are like or they always interfere, like do this, do that, and then they were like they given us like 1,000% of freedom. Like you do whatever you like to do. And even the menu, like you do your food. It's your food. You have to do what you like to do. Like you have to do what you grew up eating it. So it just happened within like 2 months. It didn't even take that long to build a restaurant and create a menu and open a spot. I think we started doing this about like first week of August. I think we opened like October or something. It just
oh wow.
everything happened like in 2 months. Yeah.
Oh wow. And was it like how long did it take for kind of Sema to kind of really build up your name, or like what did you kind of already have a running head start because of the customer base at the restaurant you took over?
No, no. Well, yes. I mean, Chintan Rani had some reputation in terms of the everyone knows that they whatever they do, it's always it's a blast. It's always a blast. But I had a lot of responsibility, and I was so nervous. Like coming from West Coast to East Coast and doing completely like different concept, different food and cooking everything. I never done anything like we always, like I said, we always trying to be like please the Westerner, please the non-Indian audience. We're trying to turn down the spices, cooking like debone everything. Like like there's a lot of things like cooking everything just like how we do back home, and like cook everything unapologetically. And that was actually scary for me, to be very honest. I was scared, really scared inside me. Like I don't know if I can make it. Like I don't know how exactly it's going to happen. I mean, that was first few months I wasn't too sure. Like I was like, oh my god, hopefully that's like I hope my career is not going to end. So in my head, I was so scared, really scared, to be very honest.
This episode is sponsored by nobody. That's right, nobody. So if you could be kind enough to hit that subscribe button, that would mean a lot to me.
Even though I was, even though we know food, we know we're going to do it, but we don't know how exactly the audience is going to receive it, right? We don't know how exactly the guest is going to like it. So, but touch wood, I mean, Lord, that was such a blessed years. We got loved by every single one, including the guest, all this, local local media and everyone. It started from Infatuation, Eater, Bon Appetit, The Esquire, New York Times, and Michelin Guide, and everyone. They just all they gave their blessings. So
So you talked about like the non-Indian guests. I'm very curious. So, what were like the reactions of the non-Indian guests? Because, like you said, often with Indian restaurants, they're kind of catered a bit to the non-Indian audience. So,
mhm.
you were making authentic food. Like this is how you're eating it at home back in India. So what was their reaction like to that food and that spice level? Like what was that like? Yeah, what was the
So
reaction?
that's the thing with New York. I was because I'm kind of new to New York, right? Like 3 years before, I didn't know anything about New York because I lived in West Coast for a long time because we're there. We always think that, oh, non-Indians cannot eat spicy, like they can handle it, like whatever it is. I don't know. So because New York was so surprising to me, because every single guest who I spoke to was like, oh, because oh, this feels so authentic. Because I've been to India, I travel a lot for work, because I travel a lot for pleasure. I visited India many times. It just tastes just like India. In fact, it's better than India. That made us feel, very happy, like really happy when they said that, because the New Yorker has been traveling a lot, like it's not like they know the rest of the world, so they know the real food, and also they've seen a lot of mini like fusion, a lot of because as you know, New York is one of the capital, culinary capital in the world, right? So there's so many great chef has been cooked like a lot of food, so they know exactly what the food it is. um so you can really like BS them. So
Oh, that's
so
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, so coming from them, when they say that, that was actually was more encouraging, like it was like, wow, so we're doing something right, so we got to keep it up. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And again, congrats to Semma being like the only Indian restaurant in the US, or sorry, not in the US, in New York City to win a Michelin star.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
what like I mean, you always hear about Michelin star. I'm not like I don't understand like what it actually means. So, what is the process for a restaurant getting a Michelin star? And then like how did you feel when you found out that, your restaurant got a Michelin star and
Oh
that
my
recognition?
God, that was I didn't tell you till last minute. All right, I mean, Michelin has a lot of process. I mean, the process is like I think they have a lot of criteria, like starting from consistency of the food, and like the menu, the ingredients that we use, and how creative it is. I think they have like a huge list of criteria. And honestly, like when we open Semma, like our all of us collectively on our head, like what we want to do is let's just cook from the heart. This is what me. I personally felt like I just want to cook from the heart. I just want to do the best that we can do, and then if anything happens, happens. I mean, and it just we don't need to like cook for, like we don't need to chase something. We just have to cook. We just have, let's be who we are. Let's just cook our food. Let's cook our food really from the heart. Like that was our goal. So I think, like I said, that if rest everything happened, um, and like let's all the blessings just happen as it is. So
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, you've had
yeah.
some famous guests at your restaurant, including Padma Lakshmi, another fellow South Indian as well. And I think she called your food the perfect reminder of home or something like that. So how did you feel like when you're getting celebrities in like the food world, like a Padma Lakshmi visiting your restaurant and then also complimenting what you've created?
Yeah, but Padma is nothing but she's been a huge supporter, and also she's been giving her blessing all the time. And I mean, hearing from her, saying that the food is tastes like home, it felt something very 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 touching. And not just her, we get a lot of guests who comes here every day, especially the first generation guests, and you know how they are. They spend their whole life cooking for their kids and grandkids, and so when you see them, I always get nervous. Oh my God, I hope I have to live up to the expectation. The moment when they call you, they were like, sometimes they don't even leave till, oh, I want to speak to chef. I want to I want to speak to him. So when they call you and then they bless you, saying that this felt just like home. That's something like, I think besides, with due all the respect, besides all the accolades that we got, I think I feel like that was the huge honor and huge accolades that you can think of, like getting a blessing from the first generation India. I mean, getting a blessing from the first generation of Indians, and like like from your mother or grandmothers, like you feel like someone, one of your parents just bless you when they come to the restaurant. So that always feels so touching. And also, like when you hear so many emotional guests, like when you see them, like you can literally see them, the tears in the eyes, like it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen my family in such a long time. It just feels like a home. It just feels literally like a home. I think that's the moment we feel like we just sold a lot of people's heart. Like, that's something that it gives us so much responsibility. Then we have to keep going. We have to push it. Like that was the moment that always it's blessing.
And and are you always at the restaurant, or like do you ever kind of take days off or times off?
I haven't had any vacation in 3 years. The last vacation that I took was after 3 years, like last month, I took a vacation for a week. That was my first vacation, but I'm there every single night, except if there isn't any event or something happening outside. Otherwise, you can see me every day at the restaurant.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And what is your like favorite? Well, I mean, I think I've read it, but I want to actually confirm. But what is your favorite thing or item to make on the menu at Semma?
Like, I mean, the menu is something based on our childhood memories, right? Something that, so we just want to put everything on the menu that was something we enjoyed eating it, we enjoyed cooking it, we enjoyed, feeding the guest too. So if something is not like, it's not that something good, again, like I said, we don't want to do anything for commercial purpose. We just want to do something that we also enjoy eating it. We also enjoy cooking it. So I think I would say everything is probably um, my favorite.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
And you probably get this question a lot. Maybe it's annoying. I watched The Bear, and given the popularity of the show, you see, they've depicted or like at least visually depicted like the restaurant, like in the back, very kind of well and pretty authentically, I think. But again, I'm curious, like how realistic are those scenes in The Bear, or is there any kind of resemblance of truth in terms of how the,
I
restaurants operate?
Sorry, I haven't really watched The Bear. Even a couple of them asked me the same question. I mean, again, to be honest, some of these shows are a little bit of exaggerated for the, to please the like to make it like sound like more interesting, right? Because I personally haven't watched the show yet, so I can't really answer that.
Ah, okay,
So
got it.
yeah,
And so I guess a follow-up to that is, we talked about it just before we started recording here, but do you have plans to bring your being a brand ambassador for the South Indian cuisine in other parts like Toronto, which is a major hub for that population, or even go back to India and now that you have a name and notoriety, maybe build something there that has a global reach. Just curious if you thought about that.
well, at this point, not really. We just want to focus with what we have right now. We just want to uh, keep maintaining all these qualities and everything. We never know. I mean, I don't really plan anything. I just want to go with flow. So
I see. Okay, got it.
yeah.
Um, and like we talked about this as well. Like you're creating more awareness about South Indian cuisine, and that's one of the reasons you started some. I've done an amazing job. There's a bunch of accolades recognizing kind of the work you and your team have done.
Thank you.
Is there like that's obviously a great thing, right? Because you're doing the job of what you set out to do, which is
Yeah, I mean,
bringing.
sorry that you asked me this question. I mean, sorry to interrupt. I mean, that was the initial goal too. Like, in the beginning, that was the thing that we tried to do. Like, I mean, we were trying to break the barrier. The perception, even within India, if you go to northern part of India, all they know is idli and dosa. That's how they know about Indian cuisine. So we just wanted to break that barrier. Actually, that was the one of the goal that we just want to like let the rest of the world know that there was no idli and dosa associated with Southern Indian food. There's a lot more than that. So
And so with this, like if you want to call it notoriety or fame that you and the restaurant have achieved, is there like have you seen any negatives of getting so much attention like on what you're doing, or do you just see that as all a good thing of kind of
it's all a good thing. I mean, there's going to be, yeah, I'm sure there's probably one or two haters. There's going to be haters, going to be always there. I don't think we'll never pay attention to all those. If there's something constructive criticism, yes, 100% we'll take it. We'll see if there's something how we can improve it. If there's going to be something negativity, that's something we'll never pay attention to this. Who cares?
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And since, like for me, one of the things I like to know about is I like to talk to chefs and kind of find out because in New York City, like you said, it's a culinary mecca of sorts globally. So what are some of your favorite spots, and you're like when you try to take some time off, not maybe a day off, but when you're kind of away from the
Mm.
restaurant, outside of home cooked meals, are there some spots in the city that you enjoy eating?
I do, I do. I honestly like to go to the places, something very kind of neighborhood places. Definitely not something very super crowded. I mean, crowded is fine. Something like not like touristy places and stuff like that, right? Something very neighborhood places, something you feel so connected to the restaurant, something you feel connected. The food should be personal. The places like this, like the places. I mean, I always tell them that the Dan Anji, like across the street from us, they have very good Italian food, and then there are so many small neighborhood places in our neighborhood. They're tiny, but they are so special. Like, so I like to go to those kind of places where it's something you feel so connected.
Did you know that every time you left a 5 out of 5 review for this podcast, a Tamil parent lets their child pursue a career in the creative arts? Okay, that's probably not true, but if there's a chance that it is, do you really want to jinx it? Leave a review. Do it for the young creative in you. So are these places you just happen to find, or do like other people tell you about them? Like, hey, you should go check out this place or this place. Like, how do you find out about them?
I usually ask Ronnie and Chintan for recommendations too, because they are they actually give me very good recommendations. Yeah, and then they are not wrong. They always right. Whatever place they always recommend, they always on point. They're so good. Like,
And so you
yeah.
gave me one name. Like, what are some other names, if you can think of any, just out of curiosity?
Mm. Oh, what the
Oh, yeah,
restaurant?
restaurant names. Yeah, just out of curiosity. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said Dananji, like Dame. Even they have one more new place right next door to us called Serpentine. They have a really good drinks, and they have nice, simple comfort and classic foods. I mean, yeah, I really enjoy them there too. I love their burgers. Yeah,
And like for you, what is it about New York City now that you've been there for about 3 years now? What's one of like your favorite things about the city?
the city has such an amazing vibe, and it's also always welcoming. It does, regardless who you are. It always like respect the talent, and it always appreciate the talent and hard work. Like I said, regardless who you are, what color you are, like what language you speak, where you're from, it doesn't matter. As long as you work hard, and if you do your best, and then the New York City acknowledge you.
I like that.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about your successes. I don't like to use the word failure, but let's call it learning lesson. So what's a learning lesson that you've experienced in like, the time you've been in New York City? And like what did you learn from that experience?
I mean, there was. I mean, like, we can use the word failure to be. Everyone has failed. There was no. I mean, I don't think there was one single person in the world has been succeed in every single thing. We all seen up and downs, right? Everyone has the up and downs. I'm sure there's always some, um, like, how do I say? There was always some kind of, failure for all of us too. I think for me, the COVID has taught me a lot. COVID time, I like, when after some time, when you see someone's true color, you know, when you, how do I say? So let me rephrase one more time. So,
Yeah.
um, so I think the COVID has changed a lot. COVID has changed me a lot. Like, I mean, there was a time like I was almost like I almost gave up my career. Like, oh my god, I think my career is done. Like, this is. I don't think. I think this is done. I feel like there's like everything looks so dark to me. Like, I was like, oh my god, what I'm gonna do? Like, should I go back? And and I think everything's done in the world. And that was almost like the point where I almost gave up. And the lesson that I learned from that is, after I moved to New York, then I completely, like, I felt like I was reborn again. Like, I was the lesson I learned is like, never ever give up. Never ever give up. Keep fighting. Even though you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall. Just, it's fine. It's fine to fail. I mean, it's fine to fall. It's like, it's nobody's perfect. But just never give up. Just see how we can rectify those mistakes what you made in the past, and just learn from the mistakes and then move on.
Amazing.
Yeah,
What's the Tamil community like in New York City?
I love the such a cute community here. You know how, more than me, what I mean, I think they celebrate my success. So that's something I feel like so blessed. Like, I didn't even know, like it was like, oh, they were like, oh, they come and tell you, you're the pride of Tamil, right? Like, when I was like, are you serious? Like, when they come and tell you, all those things in person, I didn't even realize in the first years. Oh my God, that was. I mean, now things getting a little normal. The first years when we got the Michelin, like everyone was like I felt so um I know I'm using the word a lot, blessing, like, the blessing. I felt so blessed, like, all over the world, like, all the Tamil community reached out to me saying that how happy and proud they are because, I brought out I put the Tamil cuisine in the limelight in New York City. So that was actually such a touching moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a reflective question. So, if you could talk to 16-year-old VJ, go back in a time
Mm-hmm.
machine and talk to him face to face, what would you
Mm-hmm.
tell him?
These are two things. One, I could have like enjoy my teenage life instead of being kind of nerd. I could have had my regular teenage like fun life instead of like trying to be like like this, do good at academically, just like the rest of the Indian kid, like just like stay focused, like do good at what you do, like whatever it is. And that was one thing, like I could have enjoyed my life a little bit more. Also, on the other hand, I also feel like, oh, wow, I should have studied a little more harder. I should have done a little bit more better. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I could have been really become a doctor or engineer. Like, that was,
Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah.
see. Looking forward, in terms of your personal legacy in a few sentences, how do you want to be remembered by your friends and family?
I don't know. I don't know why you use the word legacy. I don't think I've done that thing to be called like legacy. I mean, I still have. I think it's a kind of baby step. I think I still have a long way to go. Um, you asked me what my friends do remember. What was the
Yeah,
question?
like when I say legacy, I mean more of a personal legacy too. Like basically, like how do you want to be remembered by your friends and family?
I just want them to be remembered like a such a good human being. That's all it is. I just want them to be, regardless, whatever I do, like wherever I go, I just want them to be like who I am to them. Like I just want them to be like always the one of the lovable person. I just want to be another just good human being to them. That's it. That's all I want to be.
Money can be hard to come by, but here's a $100 opportunity for you. Join my free newsletter for free exclusive content and a free chance to win $100 when I hold special draws. Did I mention that it's free? Well, that's a good segue into the final part of the podcast. It's a very fun
So,
speed round called Creator Confessions. I'm going to basically say a bunch of statements, and once I finish the statement, you tell me
oh,
the first thing that pops to mind, okay?
wow, that's a little scary.
Yeah.
So,
You'll be great. You'll be great.
all right.
So, favorite Tamil food?
Just um, rice and sambar.
Something that scares you.
Something that scares me. Always something what's going to happen tomorrow. Like that's always some nervousness. Like what will happen? Like what's going to happen? Like
What's an insecurity that you have?
I have a lot of insecurities. I mean, like in terms of I always thought like being a dark skin, like it's something like in India it's something like when they always make you feel like when you have dark skin you're not one of those one who's not really presentable, like things like that. I mean, kind of overcoming all those things. The fact that I did a photo shoot like last weekend for a very fun for a designer. Oh my god, the amount of I just posted this in the social media today, like the amount of the comment that I've been receiving last 24 hours, which is insane. Like that kind of gives you more confidence, like it doesn't matter um the skin of color, like that's it doesn't matter at all. You just that was actually I was so insecure in my skin color for a very long
Oh, congrats. I can't wait to see that photo shoot. Um,
time.
what's a TV show that you watch?
Honestly, I don't really watch any shows lately. Now, just like I just like work, come home and do some, call families and just watch the news and just go home. I mean, I'm go to sleep.
I know you don't travel a lot, but what's a place that you're itching to travel to eventually?
But any places, I think I love nature. I love going to mountains. I love going to trees, like where there's a lot of trees, like water, lakes, beaches. Rather than going to some, any big cities, I love going to like a small, quiet town that has a lot of nature.
Hmm.
That's my places. Any place that has a lot of nature, that's always give me a lot of peace, and that's I don't know. I feel so good when I'm with nature.
And what's a place that you're, sorry, a fellow Tamil creator out there that you want to give a special shout out to or recognize them? Is there like a Tamil creator out there you want to do that for?
To you, people like you.
Thank you. I'll take it. Favorite childhood memory?
There are a lot of memories. I don't know which one should I be specific. There's a lot of good memories. Spending time with your grandparents, like not worrying about anything. Like just go there, like spend your school holidays with them. Not You don't need to worry about the homeworks, and you don't need to worry about schools or like your future. Those are the memories. Like just going with them for the huntings and fishing. You just be yourself. Like just eat whatever food they have, whatever even though they cook humble food, I mean, like simple food, and then enjoy the food that give you. You just roam around in your farm and do swimming. There are a lot of, those kind of memories. I think that I wish I can go back to this. I can travel back to this, age and live there for a while and come back.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. What do you do? What do you like to do for fun outside of work?
I like to drive. I like to take a road trip. I mean, I just like listen to good music, take a long road trip, either by the beach or by if there is any park, or if there is any trees, or like I said, like just somewhere where nature is, like nature road trip.
What's your favorite movie of all time? It could be English, Tamil, or both.
Oh wow, there's a lot of movies. I'm a Kamal fan. I love Moonram, right? And then also I love Notebook. Notebook.
Okay.
I love that movie, by the way. That's my all-time favorite, actually.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's a purchase that you've made in the last few years that you splurged on, but you have no regret about it?
Hmm. That's a good question. I'm not a really good shopping guy, so I don't know. I don't know if you can-
What is a pet peeve of yours, or like something that annoys you about people?
I think you already answered it. Like, when they leave the mess, because I'm also like to be like keep my area, anything that even if I work, I leave, I want to keep my area very clean. I want to like keep them very clean and organized. People call me I'm so perfectionist. So that's always annoying me when I see something like, hey, clean up your thing after you're done. Like, even the work table, like when you're done with this, clean up, don't leave a mess. Um, when someone speaks so loudly, like, I'm standing right next to you. You don't have to yell at me. I'm just standing like
That's
yeah, so
funny.
those are things. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
Yeah. Who is a person or celebrity that you look up to?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of celebrities. I don't want to say just one single one. So,
Okay. If you knew that you were gonna die tomorrow, a regret that you would have.
I don't know. I think I had a really good life. I mean, I was so blessed and fortunate. I just die happy. I don't think I'm going to regret for anything. I mean, I would have regret one thing. I would have spent more time with my mom and family. Like that was always a little bit of because being in this career, um, because I didn't have much time to spend with, especially with my mom. I know I miss her a lot, and yeah, that could have been a little sad for me. Otherwise, I would just die happily. It's fine. I
Mm.
think I had a good life.
What's a book you read recently, or maybe like you've ever read that's had a big impact on you?
I just read. I think it's little right next to me. I haven't finished reading it. Like I think I can't remember the. Can I? I can't remember the name right away. I think it's Be Yourself. There was one
Okay.
book. I think yeah, that book was. I didn't finish reading it. I think I started reading a few pages. So I think that's a that's a really good book.
What's a belief, behavior, or habit that's improved your life?
I always believe in like discipline and respect each other. Like self respect. Just be who you are. Just be who you are. I think that's the most important thing. And just like everyone, be who you are, and just respect each other, and just spread the positivity. Love everyone.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And the final question is,
Yeah.
what's a
Hey,
piece
we're
of
done. I'm on the edge of the seat, by the way. I was like, oh my God, what is the next question is going to be?
um, what is a piece of advice you would give your fellow Tamil creators out there?
Hey, we have a long way to go. I mean, we already proving who we are. Like, we can rock and roll. We already rocking it. So,
Love it. Well, that's a good way to end
uh,
the podcast. Chef Vijay, thank you so much for making time in your extremely busy schedule to kind of jump on. I guess for, anybody kind of listening, maybe they want to kind of connect with you because, they've been inspired by your story. What's the best way for someone to reach out to you?
My Instagram. I think
Okay.
that's yeah. Even though if it take a couple of days to reply back because I'm not on social media all the time because I try to do as much as possible. But please bear with me in case if you reach out to me, I'll try to answer as quick as possible.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much
Awesome.
again for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. That was such a fun conversation. Thank you.
No problem. Well,
I
until
hope I hope you can visit us when you're in New York City too.
no, I was going to say that's going to be I love New York City. It's one of my favorite cities in the whole world. So
And I hope I can get to meet you. I mean, I can get to meet your parents. I can feed them too because I can get blessing from them also. From being a, from for a, who ran a restaurant, they know exactly how the restaurant is. Like, it's getting a blessing from them it can be huge.
well, yeah, no, when I come,
Yeah.
I definitely visit
Yeah.
you. And also, you probably know him. He works in Washington Square Park, the New York dosas. He's also South Indian as well, or Tamil.
Are you serious? Are you Chef Thiru's
Yeah.
son?
No, no,
Oh,
I'm
I
not his
didn't
son.
know.
No, no, I'm not his son. No, no, I'm saying I want to visit him too because,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
yeah,
Okay, I thought you were just like this.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's. I haven't met him in person. Like, I have to go get his blessing also one day soon. Like,
Yes.
I've been missing his. Um, I've been missing miss. I've been meaning to meet him for a very long time, but I missed it. I gotta go there very soon.
Okay. Well,
All right.
well, thank you again, and for the audience listening,
Thank
thank you guys as always, and on to the next episode.